All right, man. Welcome back to Man Down Sports. As you can see from the thumbnail, we got to talk about JJ Redick and the Lakers. And yes, the same JJ Redick that everyone said was going to be the next Pat Riley, all because he has mousse in his hair and a side part. Right. This is the same JJ Redick, the same JJ Redick as Ticket TV calls him. And shout out to Ticket TV, man, because I use his catchphrase, "Your king, not mine." That's not mine. I stole that from Ticket, man. So I definitely want to shout him out, man. Shout out to Ticket TV for sure. I might as well shout out everybody. Shout out Dominque at Sports T. Everybody that's in the basketball community that speak the truth. Shout out to Sports and Fitness Rants. Shout out to Michael Jordan fans of the best. Shout out to Carcino for Life, Kwame Brown. Who am I missing? Dreamers Pro. Um, everybody that's just telling the truth, man, for sure, man. If I missed out somebody, it's been the Format Podcast. Everybody that's been on my panel. If I'm missing you, my bad. But yeah, shout out to all of y'all, and happy election day. Hopefully everybody voted or going to vote. Hopefully this stream is not impeding on anybody's plans today. Hopefully it don't get in the way. But then again, maybe you waiting in line to go vote, and you can throw this on and listen to it while you're waiting in line, man. So it's going to serve a purpose either way. But we got to get this stuff. We got to discuss this stuff, right? Shout out to the members as well. I think I got a new member this week. And I can shout out those members, man. Before we get into everything, I'm trying not to say so much. I was listening to one of my videos and I noticed I say a lot. I'm gonna try to fix that because it's kind of annoying, but it is what it is. But Doc, I just said it again. Doc Holly 003 is now a new member. Andrea Williams, James Reed, right hand cam, Demetrius Day, Mikey Brass, Taco Master, Beast Mode Bones, 33 Shuggy, Cedric Franklin, Ida Tomlinson, E King, Steve Cabert, the Joker 687, Scott Merriweather, Unspoken Voices, Taco Master again, 6'4 Slim, Keith Brazil, Savon Arnold, Ron Walters, Jay Barrett, WW, Shay J, R Bean, Jeffrey Gaio, Shy, Rada, West Sider 23, Ashley H, Michael Tafoya, Wizman Ballin, and Malachi Israel. Those are the people who help me continue to make content, keep me motivated to keep making content, because they're paid members. And I mean, and even the just regular subscribers is motivation enough, man. But the paid members actually, really keep me motivated for sure. So I appreciate the paid members, man. I appreciate y'all for, it's somewhat of an investment, man, because you at least know you go get some content, because I can't go too long without making sure that the streets get a body, especially because the paid members are actually invested. So y'all can thank them for me showing up so much. Got to get into this Lakers stuff. I'm sorry. I do have to also shout out Underdog, man. If y'all not playing Underdog, y'all need to get there and win some money. I've been winning some money on there lately. Use my promo code Man Down. Man Down Sports. That's our promo code. Use that, especially if you're first time playing on Underdog, because your first deposit is going to get matched up to 50%, as much as $1,000, right? So that's where it caps off at, and they are sponsoring this video and sponsoring the channel. So here's a word from them. Underdog Fantasy is the best place to play fantasy sports. I want to tell you about the easiest way to get in on some NBA action with Underdog Fantasy and their pick'em game. Just find your favorite player, or any player for that matter, pick higher or lower on that player's stats, and you can win up to 20 times your money in one night. Pick between 2 or 5 players to fill your pick'em entry. Get every pick right, and you can net yourself some serious cash. Use the promo code ManDownSports and get up to $1,000 in bonus cash. Plus, now that it's football season, you can follow Man Down Sports as we reveal our favorite picks from week to week. Like I said before, pick your favorite player, pick higher or lower, choose your dollar amount, and win some money. It's just that easy. Make picks, win money. We also want to thank Underdog Fantasy for partnering with us, and we want to thank you for helping the channel out by using Man Down Sports on Underdog Fantasy. All right, so the Lakers started out this season 3-0. And JJ Redick was first and foremost, they could barely win a preseason game. Right. So they was getting smoked in the preseason, but that's not always an indication of how the season would be. All while the preseason was going on, most of the videos was like toward the beginning, it was like, man, this hire is very weird for you to start a podcast with this guy in the middle of the season while your coach is still your coach. And basically just flirt with him and show everybody. I mean, you know, it's almost like if you're married and you know that your marriage is on the rocks, no one else knows that, but you, I don't know, do some project with this other girl that y'all work 4 to 5 months together while you were still married. And then after that marriage ends, you end up married to this girl that you was working with. And you want us to believe that the whole time you didn't have some interest in this female, or maybe y'all was already doing the do while you was on the outs in your marriage. That makes sense, right? Like to do that in our face, to go and start a podcast with JJ Redick, knowing he was looking for coaching jobs, or not even looking, but he was waiting for the correct opportunity. He had interviewed for the Toronto job. They probably could read through his slickness and see through the mousse in the part in his hair and was like, nah, no, thank you. So he didn't get that job. He was rumored for the Charlotte's job, but I think that I don't know if that was a real thing. I think they got a really good coach in Coach Lee down there in Charlotte. So I think they made off even better. But for LeBron James to go and do Mind the Game podcast and then turn around, Ham is fired, Reddick is hired, and tell us I had nothing to do with it. That is the ultimate gaslight. I mean, the good way to insult our intelligence. And what better way to insult our intelligence with a guy who consistently tells people that they don't know nothing about basketball and they're dumb and talk to them in a condescending manner and all that stuff. I still can't forget the episode of his podcast when he was trying to debunk the fact that the NBA has created an atmosphere and an environment by way of rule changes that makes the offensive player or puts the offensive player in an advantage. He really was talking down and cursing, like screaming, because he named some rule changes over the last 10 to 15 years that supposedly was to help the defense out. And he was like, there's no rule change has ever been made to help the offense out. All right. That was his argument. So defensive three in the key, keep getting the big man out of the middle of the floor. None of these things were taking hand check away, taking the arm bar hand check away. None of these things were for the offense. He's just saying everything was for the defense. And the way he was talking was like, man, dog, you must think people is dumb. Like, he really think people is stupid, right? So anyway, I say all that to say this. He gets this job, so everybody was talking about it and calling it out for the BS that it was. And then the Britne draft goes through, and then we start talking about that. And then the preseason goes, and everybody was trying to show people, all right, look, every small thing counts. It's not said much in basketball, but it's in all sports. It's said a lot in basketball and football, where they say it's a game of inches. Every inch counts. Everything counts, right? You just can't waste a roster spot or a draft pick, or, you just can't waste things. Like, everything counts for a team that's trying to contend. Every little thing counts. Look at Denver Nuggets right now. They won a championship, and then they let Jeff Green and Bruce Brown go. Jeff Green and Bruce Brown left after the championship. They haven't been to the final since, right? Just that, and those was 2 bench players. That's how fidgety everything is. Just 2 bench players that you think is not significant. I mean, we know Bruce Brown played lights out in the playoffs, especially the finals. We know Jeff Green played some big minutes as well, but no one thinks Jeff Green is just that significant. You know, if you really look below the surface, he's a really good player. I always thought he had Jaylen Brown potential. His career could have broke out to where he was playing on a Jaylen Brown level. I think he had that type of potential, but for some reason it was just always, that's another topic though. But losing Jeff Green and Bruce Brown for the Denver Nuggets took them out of contention. They're done. They're not contenders anymore. That's how fidgety it is. Then they lost Caldwell Pope. Then they added Westbrook. That's probably the wrong piece, but I thought they like Bruce Brown so much they felt like as a hustle guy and as a slasher that Westbrook could give you what Bruce Brown gave you, but not so much, right? So those small things always are fidget and change things. So it's a game of inches. Everything count. So bringing in this coach, this unproven coach, this coach that doesn't have any experience, huge mistake. And then wasting this roster spot on Bronny was a huge mistake as well. However, people will tell you it's insignificant because he's the 15th man. But just because he's a 15th man doesn't mean if that roster spot was open that you would fill it with someone that's a 15th man. Like you can feel that if Bronny James wasn't holding that roster spot, you could fill that roster spot with someone to help your bench. And instead, they want to put Bronny on there, for a history moment. So what the purpose that Bronny served by holding that roster spot is already done. They made history in the NBA. They did the photo op with the Ken Griffey's, and now it's over. So that whole roster spot was for 2 games, one in LA, one in Cleveland. Now it's over. That whole roster spot was for that. And the crazy thing about it is the whole Darvin Ham firing and JJ Redick hiring might have been just for that history moment because JJ Redick might have been okay with it and Darvin Ham wasn't. Right? That's insane. Right? But remember, it's fidgety. But I want to play for you what they said on Gil's Arena. This was after the 3-0 start. And everyone was saying JJ Redick might be a genius and all this crazy stuff. Oh my God, man. And I was like, man, well, they are moving the ball a little bit better. LeBron is off the ball. He's not playing point forward as much. I was like, wow, JJ Redick actually got him to come off the ball a little bit. And then the roof fell in, right? And then reality sunk in and they started losing. And they should have more losses because the loss, Phoenix let them off the hook that game. I mean, they had them blowed out. And they took their foot off the gas, and that's Phoenix's only loss. So imagine if Phoenix wouldn't have fell asleep at the wheel, they would be undefeated right now with the Cleveland Cavaliers, right? They would have more losses if it wasn't for Phoenix going to sleep at the wheel. Now, Gil's Arena after that Phoenix loss, they talked about the Lakers. And they talked about how bad the bench is. All of a sudden, the bench matters now. But when we was telling y'all, you cannot waste a roster spot on Bronny just for this photo op because you are trying to contend. Every roster spot matters. Every roster spot counts, right? So if you're telling me you're the Lakers and you're a Lakers fan and you're going to complain about how bad the bench is, and then in the same breath, start talking about Bronny like that ain't part of the reason why the bench is not legit. You just wasted a roster spot. Every roster spot count. But listen to how they talked about this.
Lakers up 20 in the first quarter. We knew it was Fugazi.
No, I mean, it's we're not worrying about the starters, right? The starters, when you're talking about 1 through 5, 1 through 5, I mean, they can say they're top without even thinking about the rest of the lineup. they can say they're top 5.
With their starters?
Yeah, starting 5 is, they're top 5. You got every element. So if you look at the game, first and third quarter, they blow the Suns out. First and third quarter, it's that second and fourth when they got to sub in, and then, the offense is stagnant, right? They don't know who's going to go to who. That's where the problem is right now, or last night at least, right? It's that second and fourth quarter where they got to try to figure out the rotation there, figure out what plays they're going to call. I think they scored, 14 in the second, 22 in the fourth, right? And you're talking about in the first and the third, you're talking about 30 plus. So just trying to, just understand the rotation. But, taking the blame on yourself is cool, media-wise, so the media don't try to put a wedge between the team.
Yeah.
But it's always on the players. Right? I don't care what any coach says. The players are out there playing.
Yeah.
Right? You can call whatever fucking play you want to call. If the players don't run it or forget it, it's their fault. Right? You can call a great play. It's only a great play if it's executed by the players. So, it's always, I didn't make shots today. I didn't make free throws today,
Yeah, I gotta be
13 for 18 from the free throw line. And that's 5 free throws made. Missed. We lost by 4. Even with LeBron playing bad, he was playing bad in the first and in the third, and we was plus maybe 20-something?
So Lakers scored 34 points in the first quarter, 14 second quarter, 35 points in the third quarter, 22 points in the fourth quarter. But in the first and third quarter, I believe they were...
Plus 18?
Plus 18, yes. Yep.
So...
Won both those quarters by 9 points. Lost the second quarter by 11. And then the Suns scored 33 in the fourth to the Lakers 22.
Yeah. I don't look at plus minus as like the end all be all, but like when you look at the Lakers plus minus, their whole bench, they're all like minus double figures.
Mm-hmm.
And you cannot be that coming off the bench and very limited minutes at that. Like they're going to have to figure out that bench situation.
I don't think anybody really understands, but when you think about championship teams, when you think about the Warriors championship, how great that bench was. When the Lakers was winning, how great that bench was. Spurs, how great that bench was, right? So, it's even Denver, right? They had solid pieces coming off the bench. When you're talking about a starting 5, you do got to sub at some point, right? So if you don't have a bench that can really push the lead or at least maintain whatever your lead is, that's where you lose the game.
So now it's the bench. The bench is the issue, right? And I want you to understand how this is going to go, right? And this is always surrounded LeBron James everywhere he's went. When it doesn't go well, the bench would get blamed. Eventually, the coach would get blamed. And then eventually it'll go down to one of his co-stars or one of his starters is in the lineup that they think is not holding their weight, right? So they could be losing. Right now, we're at the phase where the bench is getting blamed. All right, man, it's the bench, man. Look at the bench. And rightfully so. Jackson Hayes had 5 points. Dalton Connect had 5 points. All right, last night. But they both played 9 minutes and 8 minutes, right? Jackson Hayes played 9 minutes. Dalton Connect played 8 minutes. What you expect? You only get 9 minutes. LeBron played 40. Right? LeBron played 40 minutes. Cam Reddish didn't score, but he didn't shoot. He got 5 rebounds and played defense. Right? Gabe Vincent played 17 minutes, but he didn't shoot. Right? Max Christie took 2 shots. He missed both of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They played 5 bench players, and only 2 of them took shots. And you expect bench play? This is against Detroit last night. They couldn't beat Detroit. Right? Detroit jumped on them early. It was up 11 after the first quarter. They went into this halftime with a double-digit lead. And you can't rely on your bench if you're not going to play them. And then when you play them, if they're not getting shots, then there's something wrong with how you scheming the offense. You know what I mean? I mean, how you not get any? How you play 7? That's just real cardio. How you play 17 minutes if you gave Benson and you got a burner, like you can shoot it. You ain't had no problem getting shots up in Miami's offense. You out here in LA and you can't even get a shot up. Cam Reddish, probably the most athletic kid on the roster besides LeBron, can't get a shot up. 0 for 0 for both of them. And I'm pretty sure both of those shots that Jackson Hayes hit was off the offensive rebound or off some lob. Right? So, and then Dalton Connect, he ain't shy about shooting at all. He only got 2 shots. Like, this is not good. But 10 points from your bench, it is what it is. But you got yourself to thank for that, because the bench was not that important for you to waste a roster spot on Bronny. Like, think about who that spot could be. Right? They could be a vet. And then the contract is guaranteed on top of that for 3-4 years. Guaranteed contract. So you already setting yourself behind the power curve with that roster spot. Like, they could have been someone. I mean, think about the vets that are free agents right now. They could have helped that bench out. You know, whatever position you. I mean, when you look at this bench, you're looking at Gabe Vincent guard, Cam Reddish guard, Dalton Connect guard / forward, Max Christie guard. The only big man that they played off the bench was Jackson Hayes. Now, Christian Wood is still out. He's hurt. So when Christian Wood comes back, he should be able to see some minutes. And then maybe Vanderbilt. I mean, Vanderbilt's a forward, but, you know, he's a wing player. But as far as big men, all you got is Anthony Davis in the starting lineup. I wouldn't even consider Rui Hachimura a power forward or a center, not conventionally, but he's a forward. But as far as like a real big man, all you got is AD and Jackson Hayes. That's it. And then Woods when he comes back. So I'm thinking about a veteran big man that can rebound and probably help this team out. And then you have the Boogie Cousins that's begging to get back in the league. You had the Dwight Howards that's begging to get back in the league. That would have took that roster spot for that same amount of money that Bronny took it for. And you could be putting them in, especially times like when AD is playing against Jalen Duran and the big men that they got over there. That was, I mean, they out rebounded them. You know what I mean? So you got Beef Stewart out there. These guys was really rebounding, and it gave AD some issues. It gave him some problems, right? So when that happens, you think, man, if a big man was here, and you know Anthony Davis don't like playing center, you know he don't like that. You know he don't like to bang. You know he gets banged up kind of easily when he bangs that much, man. You got to protect him. You got to bring him in another big man that could actually help out on the glass, help out with defense, and especially those days where, look, man, AD getting killed on the glass. You know, it's some teams that the Lakers play that AD by himself is a problem on the glass, and they just can't handle him. But against Detroit, it was vice versa. It would have been nice to bring Dwight out off the bench like they was able to do when they won in the bubble. It would have been nice to bring Boogie Cousins off. Anything, but you can't do that because you got to waste the roster spot, right? But so Gil's Arena, in that same breath, talking about the bench suck, and that's the reason the Lakers can't win is because the bench. In the same breath, listen how unserious they are.
In his NBA career,
1-0.
Gil, how does this loss affect Bronny's legacy?
Not at all. It's not his loss.
Please.
Okay, it's his father's loss.
All right, it's on my daddy.
That's his father's loss. You know, when you sitting there with that ride home, you got to smile.
Wait, I can't believe they said, man, how does this loss affect Bronny's legacy? I'm sorry, I had to stop that.
In his NBA career,
1-0.
Gil, how does this loss affect Bronny's legacy?
Not at all. It's not his loss.
Please.
Okay, it's his father's loss.
All right, it's on my daddy.
That's his father's loss. You know, when you sitting there with that ride home, you got to smile.
We won every game I played in.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, Bubs.
No, listen. You know why it's funny? You know why
I'm just fucking around.
Funny is because everybody else takes it too serious, right? They really take the Bronny, playing or not playing very serious. And it's like, relax, man. Right? He's the 55th pick. I mean,
Please.
I don't care what team he's on, whatever's happening now with his father, no games, right? He ain't played in 3 games, right?
Yeah, he's not going to play unless
He's
it's a
not
blowout.
He ain't going to play unless there's a
Unless
blowout.
a blowout, either way, man.
So I'm pretty sure the first quarter he's sitting like, ooh, yes, sir. And then he's sitting there like, oh, come on, man. I was going to get in today. Right? That's
it's not even a serious thing to them, man. Like they get to laugh and just joke about it and just brush over it. Oh, it's the 55th pick. It doesn't matter. Like it's not significant at all, but it is. You can't complain about a bench being depleted and a bench not having enough, and then brush over a roster spot that got wasted. Like I'm trying to figure out how. Like this was the same episode. It was within 3 minutes where they talked about the bench being trash and they're not having enough, and then just transition into Bryant and 55th pick and just act like that pick just doesn't matter. Like real GMs are concerned about every single roster spot. They don't give them away because they know how serious each roster spot is when it comes to an 82 game season and then the gauntlet that we call the playoffs. I mean, come on, man. This is a 7-game series in first, second round, and then conference finals and then finals if you make it. Like that's a lot. 82 games and then the gauntlet of the playoffs. Everybody counts. You're going to have injuries. You're going to have suspensions. You're going to have people playing hurt. You got teams that give you matchup problems, but you might have somebody on your bench that you ain't played in 5 games that'll be perfect even in the starting lineup, or be perfect getting a whole bunch of rotation minutes. Like all of that stuff, everybody knows all the way down to the last man on the bench. It's not a waste. Like all of it's supposed to be meaningful. And if the Lakers thought they had a good bench, then okay, cool. But for y'all to be 5 games in complaining about the bench, did you ever think the bench was good? You get what I'm saying? Like if you didn't think the bench was good, then why would you think it's a good idea to waste a roster spot and a guaranteed contract? That's beyond me. I mean, that's beyond me. So I don't know. That's my thoughts on it. JJ Redick, he's not the guy that he's not Pat Riley. He's not Pat Riley. What this showing me right now, JJ Redick put a lot of stock into coming out with a bang in the season. Right? You could tell he really wanted to prove people wrong. But what he didn't, and it is that deep, young disciple. It is that deep. Like when you're paying people millions of dollars to run your ball club, like, you know what I'm saying? Like if I'm a team owner and I pay you a hefty salary to run my basketball team, I don't know much about basketball. I know about money. I know about business. So I'm going to hire people that know basketball. I'm going to pay you, and I want you to run my basketball operations right. It is that serious for someone who's writing checks. So yeah, 15 roster spots, by the league law, I can only have 15 roster spots. Okay, cool. I want all 15 them roster spots to earn their freaking paycheck. Because when you really look to it, 4-year guaranteed contract for Bronny, he got that contract only to make a splash in the game against the first game in LA and the game against Cleveland in Cleveland. So he got 4 years guaranteed for those 2 games. That's what he got. So it is that serious. Everybody don't like wasting money, right? Everybody don't like wasting money. And this was just another smooth way for LeBron to figure out how to be part of the storyline by way of what he did in the offseason. He's been doing it in LA because I don't think that he believes that he can really lead a real contender. He knows he can't. right? So, and you can't. You're 39 and you're 40. Nobody's ever been led by a 39 and 40-year-old into contention, into the finals, into the winning. No, that doesn't happen. Someone else has to lead. You can have a 40-year-old on your roster. You can have him in your starting lineup. But for him to be a leader, you're picking the wrong leader. So what he's doing is he's trying to compensate. He's trying to overcompensate. Well, we can't win. However, I can make sure that you make money. I can maneuver in ways that I always make sure that the Lakers will be the talk of the town. Right? So after the bubble, that was probably the last year that he really felt like that he can contend. And I don't think they could have contend if it wasn't for COVID in the bubble. Right? Because we see the year like AD had last year where he played 70 games, that's few and far between. He's not going to get that often. So the chances of him getting through that 82 game season plus the playoffs was slim to none. But since they had a 4-month break in between and then they went into a bubble where they wasn't traveling, then it benefited the Lakers. But after 2020, what did they do? Instead of me bringing back Rondo, bringing back Danny Green, bringing back Dwight Howard, bringing back JaVale McGee, these are the guys that was on the bench that actually really helped this team really be good. The bench, just like we're talking about, the bench was very important. Every roster spot mattered, right? Instead of bringing those guys back, he made a splash. I'm going to make a splash, right? Was that the year he got rid of Kyle Kuzma for Westbrook? Or was it the year after that? I can't remember. But he didn't bring back Dwight. He didn't bring back JaVale. They didn't bring back Danny Green. They didn't bring back Rondo, right? And I think it was the same whatever the same year it was when Brooklyn got Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant, or the year that Kevin Durant was coming back to play, and finally team up with Kyrie. That was the talk of the town. Plus, they had just got James Harden, so you got a big three in Brooklyn. That was the talk of the town. LeBron can't stand for anyone else to be the talk of the NBA. He notice every time the NBA is trying to shift to someone else, LeBron makes a splash some way. And that's when he made that splash for Westbrook. Get Westbrook over here, knowing that wasn't a good fit. Like you can't obviously think a guy like Westbrook, who's not a shooter, who's ball dominant, whose main objective is to get to the rim or make a pass when someone try to stop him from getting to the rim. That's the same exact thing that LeBron does. There's no way that those two guys were going to coexist in perfect harmony. So why trade Kuzma for Westbrook? It was the splash that he made in the offseason that made the Lakers the talk of the town. Everybody was talking about them. Oh, man, possibly being a super team. Got Carmelo in there. So he went for the big names to get the Lakers to be talked about. Forget the basketball part of it. I want to be talked about. And that's what he did. And we did talk about the Lakers like, oh my God, like they got Westbrook. That's a super team. It's really not a super team though, because Westbrook, he's not a superstar. But it's really not a super team. But that's what everybody was talking about. So and he's doing it again. What did he do this year? Oh man, bring in Reddick, get my son, make history. Right? What did he do the year that he was scheduled to break Kareem's record or pass Kareem in the scoring? It was all about that, not about winning. That's why AD was frustrated at the game against OKC when he finally got the record. AD was on the bench like, man, these people are cheering and we losing. Like, I'm frustrated. Like, we losing to OKC. This is a team in the West. Like, we was trying to measure how good we were against this team because they're pretty good. Like, we trying to send a message and we can't beat them. We're losing. And people are giving this man a standing ovation. Like, I can't care about that stuff. And of course, Shannon Sharp and LeBron James media went on TV the next day and took screenshots of AD and said he was jealous and called him out and all this other crazy stuff. And I'm like, man, this is crazy. Like you can't escape it. Like when you're in that circle, Kevin Durant was right, man. The environment around LeBron is so toxic. When you're in that bubble, it's unreal to be in, man. It's unreal, and it's not for everybody. It's very unreal, right? So, I mean, to want to win and be called jealous because you're not over there smiling when someone broke a record, like he made almost that whole season about that record. And the crazy thing about it, he was also still trying to keep his average, man, because I want to say that he was in the running to get the scoring title that year. It was either that year or another year. He was close to getting a scoring title. And he was cherry picking games. Like, oh man, we got a big game this game. I don't know if I can get my average that game. I'm gonna sit this one out. And then he'll come back to the next game or against an easy opponent. And I'm like, man, this is weird how he's doing it. He's cherry picking the game to keep his average up so he can get the scoring title. But unfortunately, he didn't play enough games that year. He missed it by a couple of games and he wasn't eligible. But he was doing all that. I got videos calling it out. Like, look, man, look at this. Look at how this dude is cherry picking these games, man. Look, hey, if I'm lying, I'm flying. Like I said, I got videos while I was calling it out. Yeah, I tell you what videos it was. And that's a good thing about when you able to document some of these things, man, that you talk about, because ESPN is not talking about it and documenting it. So people on YouTube like myself, we got to document it for everyone. So yeah, I called it out. I got graphics to show for it and everything is all there. It's all there. He was cherry picking games so he wouldn't mess his average up. Right. That's the year that he was supposedly dealing with some type of bad ankle that he was gonna get surgery on that we still ain't seen the surgery for. Like he still ain't got surgery on that ankle. We still waiting for that surgery. So yeah, very interesting stuff, man. But yeah, JJ Redick. What's up, Mikey Brass? JJ Redick ain't it. It's gonna be a long season for the Lakers. What he was able to come out and be 3-0, man, I think that was his championship, right? And now he's seeing that it's not that easy to coach. All that trash he talked about Doc Rivers, he's saying it's not that easy. He's saying it's probably not that easy to coach LeBron. He's also probably saying, man, it's really not that easy to score like I thought it was. Like he just thought it was just so simple that I can just draw this play up, and all these coaches is in the league right now with all this experience. They just don't have what it takes to do what I can do. They don't know how to draw plays and all this stuff, man. I mean, the way he talked about Doc Rivers and the way he talked about Larry Bird and the old school era, like he was just so perfect, man. I call him JJ, Phil, Pat Riley, Wes, Jabbar, Magic, Reddick. That's his name. He's the greatest Laker that has ever existed. He's got elements of Pat Riley. He's got elements of Phil. He's got elements of Kobe, mind the game. He tried to do his own little breakdowns like Kobe did on detail. He's got elements of Kobe. He's got elements of Jerry West. He's got Kareem. He's got Magic in there. Like he's got Big Game James. Like he's all these guys mixed up in one. Pat Riley, all these guys mixed up in one guy, and this one perfect coach that I just can't wait. I mean, I'm disappointed that they're not going 82-0 like everyone expected them to. I really thought they was gonna go 82-0 because you got the greatest mind that ever played the sport in LeBron James on the floor, and then you have the greatest mind from a coaching perspective that has never coached in JJ Redick. Like for all the people who's never coached, JJ Redick might be the smartest, greatest mind. I mean, he's like the Stephen Hawkins of coaching basketball while not coaching basketball and coaching your 9-year-old. Like he's the perfect, like I don't even understand how his team even missed shots. It's got to be the referees. I mean, it's got to be the referees that's against LeBron and against that's what it is. They're against LeBron and against JJ Redick and the Lakers, and they're just so against them. And the fact that they had a free throw disparity of 30 against Toronto without Scotty Barnes, but only beat them by 6, has got to be the referees, because they should have had a disparity of 45 free throws. How can two professional teams that know how to play basketball have a 30 free throw disparity? You telling me out of all these professional teams, one of them know how to get to the free throw line and the other one don't? Wasn't JJ Redick the same dude that said he wanted his team to shoot 63s a game? And they are shooting a lot of threes. So all those excuses last year when they had these free throw disparities, oh man, nobody's going to the hole like we are. That's why we get to the line. Now y'all shooting more threes and shooting more free throws. Like, you can't touch the Lakers. They want the Lakers to be in the conversation so bad that they got the whistle on their side. And even with the whistle, they can't beat Toronto without Scotty Barnes and 2 other starters by more than 6 points. They almost lost. And then you come back and lose to Detroit. Now, they can't give them that free throw disparity every game. They got to make it look, we just can't cheat for you every game. So when the free throws are kind of even, I think they only shot 4 more free throws than Detroit last night. They only shot 4 more free throws than Detroit last night, and they lost. So if the free throws are every even, they're getting outplayed in every other area. It's the free throws that help them. It's insane. It's insane, man. So what are they doing that they deserve 30 more free throws than the team they're playing against? That is insane. And you barely beating Toronto without Scotty Barnes, and you can't even beat Detroit. Amazing. I'm gonna open the phone lines up. I want to hear from y'all. Here's the question. Is JJ Redick the best coach we've ever seen? And how many games will the Lakers win tonight or this year? How many games will the Lakers win this season? They probably expected us to win that game without their help. Yeah. Yeah, Laker Nation. Laker Nation. Laker Nation being honest. You're right. They probably expected y'all to win that game without the help. And y'all couldn't do it. I'm a Laker fan, and I know that the free throw disparity raised eyebrows. Of course. Only someone that's that's gonna be honest and real about it will admit it. It's some people that's just gonna make excuses. Like, I think I can find an excuse in here. Where's young disciple at? I know whatever his last comment was an excuse. Wait and see mode. I don't even know what that means. Oh, here we go. Y'all really think LeBron don't want to hoop? The man actually had injury problems. Y'all don't know what it feels like to play as a 37-year-old man in a young man's game. Some of y'all 30 and can't even do a suicide world breaker. Young brother. I'm gonna look at you in the eyes when I say this. I'm look directly in the camera. Shut up. Like, seriously, what is this? What is this you offering to me on the screen? Y'all really think LeBron don't want to hoop? Who said LeBron don't want to hoop? I think LeBron don't want to go home. I think LeBron don't want to ever not be talked about. I think LeBron is got a lot of character flaws. I think he's a narcissist, right? I think he got some issues, man. He need to go sit his butt down. If it's a young man's game, go sit your old behind down. Caller from Virginia, what's up? Caller from Virginia. Can you hear me? Oh, you just wanted to hear my. You could have just kept watching the stream if you just wanted to hear my voice. Caller from Virginia.
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, go ahead. What's your thoughts?
Okay, about the games, how many games they're going to win?
Sure.
Not going to be much.
Give me a number out of 82.
Under 45.
Sheesh.
Under 45.
Okay,
I don't
so
think you stand a chance.
is
I don't
JJ
think you stand a chance.
is JJ Redick the best first year coach we've ever seen?
No, I can name multiple coaches that are way better than him
I can too.
in history. We talk about history.
Well, let's just talk about with the Lakers. Was Frank
Oh, with the
Vogel a better first year coach than JJ Redick?
Oh, we're talking about first year coach?
Yeah. Was Frank Vogel a better first year coach than JJ Redick?
I wouldn't say that. No.
Was Darvin Ham a better first year coach than JJ Redick?
I think Darvin Ham had a little bit more swag as far as like maybe not smart, but he worked the street, man. He knew how to like play ball. Reddick is like a little bit too calculated, a little bit too Duke.
He think he Coach K. That's what it is. Well, you do know the first year Frank Vogel coached the Lakers, they won in the bubble, correct?
Yeah, I know.
Right, and you do know the first year that Darvin Ham coached the Lakers, they went to the Western Conference Finals, correct?
I know. That's why I like Ham.
Right. So it's kind of safe to say, unless JJ Redick gets to the conference finals or gets to the finals, that Vogel and Darvin Ham.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think they stand a chance. What you said about Bronny and about having a real bench player that can come off and bang until Woods comes back, they're in trouble.
Yeah. Yeah. Woods and Vanderbilt. And the crazy thing about it is I don't even think JJ Redick wants to play Vanderbilt because I think JJ Redick really wants to get those threes up. He really didn't want to play Cam Reddish because he's not knocking the three down at a high clip, but he's a great defender and a great athlete. So Darvin Ham played him, but JJ really didn't want to play him. JJ really want those threes up. He really think the analytics are telling him that threes are going to win you the championship, and I think he's finding out that's they can't be further from the truth.
No, that's exactly what I'm saying. Like, if they don't systematically play the right style with the bodies that they have, they're not going to be able to win games. Like, and you said about the whistles being blown on their side right now. Yeah, maybe that's true right now, but that may not happen all season. They might have like a real low ticket coming in to actually get into the playoffs.
Sheesh,
and then what
man.
happens then?
Who they go blame?
Who do you think you go blame?
Well, right now
it ain't gonna be LeBron.
It ain't gonna be
LeBron. I can
LeBron.
blame him.
Right now we at the bench phase. We blaming the bench. If the bench ever
It
starts
has to be.
if the bench ever starts playing well, then they're gonna need a new scapegoat. And I think at that point that is going to be whoever is not averaging 20 points in the starting lineup is going to be to blame. It's either going to be D'Angelo Russell or Rui.
Oh, yeah, they'll
Rui.
dump them. They'll dump them. Yeah, they'll dump them.
Yeah,
100%. 100%.
And they won't start all year. They'll make changes in the starting lineup and they'll play with the minutes of D'Angelo Russell and Rui. They'll play with their minutes, but AD, LeBron, and Reeves, I think their minutes are safe. But it's gonna be very interesting, man.
No, I agree, but like I think besides the challenge of LeBron getting older, even though he's still playing at such an extremely high level, like no one can say anything about that. He's still like number one superstar. He's the best. But like what I think Reddick is doing is a little bit asinine. I don't think he understands that Laker team is not set up to shoot 60 whatever he wants to say, 20 3-pointers a game or 40 a game, whatever he says. That's not the way that they need a powerhouse. They need a powerhouse like inside the lane. Then you get your kick out. LeBron's going to have to be point forward. He's going to have to be. I don't see it any other way that it's going to work. If you look at the Olympics in Paris, what did LeBron do? He played LeBron ball. This is the best way that he can win games. He's got a KD or a Curry that he just powerhouses or he makes moves, he makes plays, everyone's coming off screens, low down pick, side pick, across the free throw line pick. Like that's how you get people open so they can get threes. If you want to shoot threes, you've got to make the plays And that's kind of like a triangle offense. And I don't know if JJ Redick even understands what that means. He obviously doesn't understand that Larry Bird shot threes his whole life, and he can shoot better than him right now.
Correct.
So, like, he doesn't understand.
Listen. A lot of people I'm a firm believer. I believe the NBA. You know when you hear people say the basketball gods, they talk about that. I believe in that.
Yeah. I do too.
I believe they're and whether you want to call them gods or demons, it is what it is, right? But I believe the NBA have basketball gods, and I believe JJ
they're the
Redick,
god that they choose. They pick and choose who they want to be gods.
Well, I'm not talking about living gods. I'm talking about something that you can't see, and I think JJ Redick and LeBron upset them. Until JJ Redick comes back and take off that blasphemy of what he said about Larry Bird, what he said about Bob Cousy, and what he said about
the whole generations before, right?
Oh yeah, he's got to give up an offering.
Yeah, he's got a thorn in that.
Yeah, he's got to, because you're not supposed to. Karma is not supposed to allow you to be successful when you do what they're doing. When you get a coach fired and then hire a guy who has disrespected every Laker great he said some bad things about the Laker greats. Jerry West pissed Jerry West off. I think Jerry West died just so he can go sit on the throne with the other basketball guards and make sure JJ don't win. He was like, oh, they about to hire this dude. I'm up out of here. Put me up on a throne right now, and we're gonna make sure that they don't get what they think they're gonna get. You get Ham fired. No, you got like Byron Scott and all these other people that are in the coaching fraternity. They won't say it, but the next day after JJ got hired, Byron Scott comes out of nowhere and is on ESPN talking about it. Like, I think he called ESPN and was like, "Have me on the show tomorrow."
Yeah, and he came on coach right now.
Exactly. Like, the coaching fraternity is upset. The NBA.
You think Doc River liked that very much?
Heck no, he didn't like it. You insulted Doc. Yeah. Like, you insulted too many people, and everyone's upset. No one likes that. So you're not going to have the favor you think you're going to have. LeBron is just breaking all types of codes. I'm going to get this coach fired. I'm going to hire this dude. I'm gonna have him skip the process and bypass. That's a spit in every coach's face. Sam Cassell has been waiting for an opportunity. Like, that's a spit in their face for you to do that. And it's not supposed to work. And then you go do this crap with getting your son drafted because you wanted the history to be part of your legacy. All of this junk is just blasphemy.
It's almost like he's trying to match like Barry Bonds and Barry Bonds Sr. Or not. Not Ken Griffey Jr.
Correct.
Right. Remember, but that happened in realistic terms. That was real because Ken Griffey was the shit.
Correct. Those are facts. But yeah, I appreciate the call, man. That was a good call. Thanks.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, those are all facts. They upset the guys. They upset it. Spain Engine, thanks for the super chat. JJ Redick probably co-wrote Space Jam 2 100%. And LeBron is just trying to find different things that he can add to his repertoire. Like, he's not playing to try to get this championship no more. He's just playing to continue to pad his resume. Okay, now I got the father-son duo. I got that history. I got Kareem's record. Okay, boom. If I can get top 5 in assists and rebounds, that'll look good on me. Then he said, hey, look, I want to play 82 games this year. Why did he want to play 82 games at age 40? Because he's never played 82 games, or if he has, he's only done it once, right? So he wants to do it because Jordan did it so many times. So he wants to say, hey, look, I want to play 82 games this year. And then if you play it, then what his cronies will say is, see, if he wanted to play 82 games, he could do it. Just like when he led the league in assists. If he wanted to lead the league in assists, he could do it. I don't know if he's ever led the league in scoring, but that's the hey, look, he chooses not to lead the league in score. If he wanted to, he could. So he's just trying to add to that story that whatever he set out to do, he could do. And the only reason why he didn't do it his whole career is because he chose not to. I chose not to play 82 games. I chose not to get scoring titles like Michael Jordan, right? I chose not to lead the league in assists. But if I just put my mind to it, if I wanted to do it, it's that easy for me. I could just do it. That's the story on LeBron. The story is I'm not doing this for some reason that his fans will just make up for. But if I wanted to do it, it's that easy. I could do it. That's why he said he wanted to play 82 games. What other reason would he all of a sudden just, I want to play 82 games this year? Why? Why is that a goal? Why is that a goal? So now your goal is 82 games. Where if someone was really about that life, that wouldn't be a goal. That would be just something that was just a given. I'm playing 82 unless I get hurt. Like I'm Michael Jordan. I'm playing 82 unless I get hurt. I don't understand I want to play 82 games. Why, LeBron? Somebody give him pushback when he starts saying this capping stuff. Why? Why you want to play 82 games? Why? Just start asking why. Why? Why do you want to play 82 games? Why you want to make that history with your son? Why? Why you want to force your son to get drafted and put him on your roster? Why? I don't get it. Why? Just retire, bro. Just retire. All right. Kobe Bryant. I want to have a conversation about Kobe Bryant as well. And this one will be short. And I won't open the phone lines for this one either. And this is not even all that new. This is Reggie Miller on Mark Jackson's podcast on It Is What It Is podcast channel, which is Cameron and Mace's channel. But I think it was about during the finals when he did this episode, and the conversation him and Mark Jackson had surrounding Kobe Bryant was one that I wanted to bring to the forefront and kind of flesh out a little bit, because they said a lot of things that was noteworthy to mention and interesting. So here's Reggie Miller and Mark Jackson talking about Kobe.
So hot that one possession, I'm like, Reg, let me get him. I got him. It wasn't like I'm thinking I'm going to shut him down. I'm thinking I'm going to hammer him one time, send a message, not on our watch. The dude made a crossover move on me at the top of the key and elevated so fast, I had no opportunity to hit him. I looked at Reg like, you got him. You got him. But it shows his mentality and his greatness that he prepared for the moment by showing the respect to an all-time great, that he had something that I didn't have, and I'm willing to humble myself and take notes and become better so that when the lights come on and I'm in that position, I got all the answers. Think about it. He came to my house as a teenager and in Saddle River, New Jersey. I didn't even know him, knock on my door and sat for an hour and picked my brains as far as just the league and the things you go through. And so think about if he did it to you, he did it to me. Think about the encounters he's had across, and it showed in his greatness. And he put himself in the GOAT discussion because of his mentality and how prepared he was.
I tell people all the time, him, Michael, Magic Larry, those dudes were always playing chess, where the rest of us were always playing checkers. At times we could be playing chess, certain games. Those dudes always played chess. Always. They never played checkers at all. The only thing they knew how to play checkers. They were always 4 or 5 steps ahead of whatever you thought you were going to do. Now, there was games where I could play chess against certain players. Those dudes were on a different level. And that's why it's funny how Kobe never gets put in that go. It's always LeBron and Michael. I think Kareem should be in a GOAT discussion as well. His name really doesn't get, but no one really talks about Kobe. And if we're going to a playground,
think about it.
And those dudes are all lined up.
When we're losing the mic, there's nowhere in the world you tell me I'd ever put anybody in that discussion. But watching what Kobe was able to do and watching it up close, it's a toss-up between those two as far as in between those lines.
I mean,
man, that's 3 big things they said. Number one, Mark Jackson said when he was playing against Kobe, even when Shaq was still on his team, the way he handled himself, the way he was a student of the game, not just remotely by looking at film by approaching all-time greats, all-stars. You ain't even got to be an all-time great. If you do something well, he was approaching. There's too many stories of people saying that. Gary Payton talked about how Kobe approached him, show me the defense that, how you doing X, Y, and Z off these screens. You got a mic'd up version of Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan talking during the All-Star game. It's an All-Star game. You're supposed to be out there entertaining and having fun. He's out there learning. Mike, how do you feel him when you're in the post? How you know which way to spin? And Mike is giving him that instruction, right? Mark Jackson just said he came to his house. They haven't even been acquainted and introduced to each other. He said he came to his house and sat with him and picked his brain. Cap, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, he picked his brain. Jerry West picked his brain. The list goes on. Reggie Miller, he said Reggie Miller was describing how they were shooting a commercial, or was it a commercial or a TV show, and they were supposed to be playing one-on-one. And he said on the set, they playing one-on-one, and he's asking Reggie Miller about his step back three. And then Reggie Miller said a year later, they're in a championship game against each other, and Shaq gets fouled out in the fourth quarter overtime, and Indiana think they about to win. And Kobe comes out and was like, nah, I got y'all. That's when he was telling everybody, look, I got it, relax. And was using the stuff that Reggie taught him on him in that game. This is a real student of a game. This is someone who probably felt like that he was the best, but he wasn't bigger than the game in a sense to where he would, one, come out and tell everybody he's the GOAT. Number two, he wouldn't come out and say he didn't need to learn X, Y, and Z, or he was flipping plays at 8 and he's doing stuff that he was doing at 8 that pros can't do now. He wouldn't come out and say all this stuff. You get what I'm saying? Like he respected the game, and he respected the people that came before him too much to do that. And those are the people that the basketball guys are not upset at. Those are the people who deserve all the praise and the favor, not the people who's out there saying, I'm trying to do this just for the praise. I'm trying to break Kareem's record just for the praise. You get what I'm saying? Like, you just can't, you can't do it like that. Y'all remember that movie, The Goonies? When they finally found that boat with all the treasure on it, and that, the story of One-Eyed Willie was one thing, and they finally saw One-Eyed Willie skeleton with the patch on his eye, and he had gold in his hand, and the kid that was doing the most studying on this stuff understood everything. He had a synergy with it, and when they reached for One-Eyed Willie's treasures, he grabbed his hand and said, no, leave that for One-Eyed Willie. And then he looked at the skeleton and had a moment with him, and then they went and grabbed all the other treasures. What happened when the other people came that was really pirating, and they grabbed One-Eyed Willie's treasure out of his hand? It was a booby trap, and then everything just fell apart around them. That's how it is when what the type of thing that LeBron does versus how Kobe does it. LeBron is doing so many things that, he's basically, what he's doing is he's taking One-Eyed Willie's treasure. Like Kareem had that scoring record, right? And if you contrast the difference when John Sally explained how Phil Jackson took Kobe out of the game, I don't think it was a game he had 81 against the Raptors. I think it was a game where he had like 62 points in 3 quarters against Dallas. And I think he outscored Dallas by himself. And he could have went in the fourth quarter and went for that Wilt's record, 100. He could have went, but Phil took Kobe out and he didn't play the fourth. And John Sally asked Phil, why you take the kid out? Why you ain't let him go for 100? And Phil said, some records shouldn't be broken. Like Phil Jackson they call him the Zen master. Like he believed in that synergy and that energy, and the basketball guys, like they believe in that stuff. So they wouldn't, like the same reason why the NBA would never change Jerry West's logo. The logo is always going to be Jerry West. Is Jordan bigger than West? Yes. But why would you change that? That's our history. I'm not going to change that. The myth and the mythology of Wilt scoring 100, that myth in itself is part of the foundation of basketball. Phil didn't want to change that. And Kobe Bryant was fine with it. He wasn't pissed at Phil for that because he understood the ultimate goal is these rings and these championships. What about the year that Kobe Bryant could have went for another scoring title? And it was down to the last game of who's going to get it between him and Kevin Durant. And Kobe had the lead, so he could have went in and dropped 35 or 40 points and got another scoring title. But guess what Phil did? Phil said, let's get ready for the playoffs, and he sat Kobe out of that game. And then KD went on to get his first scoring title because the Mamba didn't want it. But if he would have been thinking, man, Jordan got this many scoring titles, I want to get more scoring titles than Jordan. If he would have been thinking like that, maybe he say, Phil, nah, I want to play. Right? If he would have been thinking about Kareem's record, if it meant that much to him, maybe he don't retire after the Achilles. Maybe he say, look, man, I know I can't play and get y'all to the finals no more, but I'm going to stay on this roster. And as long as I can put butts in seats, you're going to pay me. And I want you to go and pay a co-star to come over here to make it look like we contending. But what I'm really doing is I'm trying to play as long as I can so I can get Kareem's record. But no, it's not that important. I'm not going to go chase that. I'm not doing that. But you got LeBron chasing so many things. Kareem's record, more stats, history with his son. History with his second son is coming up, I'm sure. And it's always a slippery slope with LeBron because we make so many excuses for him that he can do anything just disgusting and nasty, and we're going to make excuses for him. I mean, starting from the decision when he left Cleveland was nasty work. Disgusting, nasty work. We made excuses for him. It's so many things. It's so many things is just nasty work. The way he trade people and get people fired in the middle of the season. He bring D Wade over to Cleveland, man. Come help me, man. Kyrie left me, bro. I need help. Come on over here, D Rose, Isaiah Thomas, D Wade. Come help me out. Oh, we not playing, playoff basketball. Trade my best friend D Wade. Isaiah Thomas, you going to the bench. Trade D Rose. All of y'all gone at the trade down. I'm like, sheesh, dude, you just talked me into leaving Miami. Like, Miami is somewhere. I'm pretty sure Wade never thought about playing nowhere else but Miami because Miami treated him right. He got talked into coming over to the Cleveland Cavaliers to help LeBron after Kyrie left him. And LeBron is so concerned about his legacy that when it looked like it wasn't meshing well, like you just put a team together. You just added Wade, D Rose, and Isaiah. You just added those three guys, and you couldn't even get through a whole season before you traded all of them. Like, it's not working, and I can't have this on my name. So I don't care if we're friends or not. I don't care if I begged you to come over here. Trade him. Trade my friend. Offer with his head. And traded D Wade. Think, oh, this is so crazy. Just think about it. Think about the difference. Look at Michael Jordan. He wouldn't let them trade Pippen. They tried to trade Pippen several times. There was a trade on the table for Sean Kemp. Imagine Michael Jordan saying, shoot, man, I can do some damage with Kemp. He's younger than Pippen. Pippen keep getting hurt. Oh, I can do some damage with Kemp. If I get Kemp over here, I can prolong my career and contend for some more championships. But nah, Jordan was like, nah, man, you're not trading Pip. That's my dog. I'm going to win or lose with Pip. I don't care what you're trying to set yourself up for the future after we leave, or you trying to get me a new co-star that because Jordan wasn't the one getting hurt left and right. It was Pippen. It was Rodman. The GM was just trying to help Jordan out by saying, look, man, I can't afford to pay all of y'all. Let me get rid of Phil and Pip. I can bring you more help. I can get you Kemp. I can get you some pieces for Pip, and you can keep playing. Jordan was like, nah, if I'm not playing with Pippen and Phil, I'm not playing. Like, that's the chick I came to the prom with, and that's the one I'm gonna go home with. But not LeBron. LeBron's like, hey, bro, it's all about me and my legacy. Anybody can go. Anybody can get traded. And every all-star can be my teammate if I see need for you. And Kobe wasn't just that way. You can hear how the greats talk about him, right? Student of the game, someone who respected the game, someone who respected the history of the game, someone who studied the history, studied the pioneers, and respected the pioneers, right? Man, when you listen to his Dear Basketball, man, you can hear all the heart in that. That dude really loved basketball. Like it was the real thing. So I thought that was interesting for Reggie Miller and Mark Jackson to say that. And you heard Mark Jackson say he put himself in the GOAT debate. And when you hear Mark Jackson call games back when Kobe was playing, he would always say, "Mama, there goes that man." You know, he would say, one time he said, "I never thought I would say this. You know, I've always thought Michael Jordan was the greatest I've ever seen, but Kobe Bryant might surpass him, or might already be past him." So Mark Jackson had him always in the GOAT debate, always compare him to Mike. And then he said it again, and then Reggie seconded, and then Reggie said, "Man, Mike, Kobe, Larry, Magic, they always was playing chess." He didn't mention anybody else. He said those four always was playing chess. Everybody else was playing checkers. Kobe is cut from their cloth. Dominique Wilkins said Kobe was the last of our breed. Nobody after Kobe. He said Kobe was the last of our breed. They don't make him like that no more. Right? So put some respect on Kobe's name, man. Forever in the GOAT debate. Forever my number 3 behind Michael Jordan and Kareem. The debate starts at number 4 for everybody else. And my favorite guy, Draymond Green. I got to get on Draymond Green. I just did a video on Draymond Green. He does a unique thing. He does something that a lot of people don't catch, right? And I remember last year, or not last year, but year before last, when Dylan Brooks was still on the Grizzlies, and Dylan Brooks was going through his antics where he would do stuff where he'll poke the bear, he'll do things and say things to LeBron, play everybody tough and stuff like that. And I found that I remember it was one game the Grizzlies may have beat the Warriors. And the Grizzlies was playing the Warriors tough all year long. And this is the year after the Warriors won the championship, I think. So it might have been the year they won it, but for the Grizzlies to play them tough at that time was showing that the Grizzlies was an up-and-coming team. You could kind of, with Dylan Brooks, Desmond Bane, Ja Morant, Jaren Jackson Jr., Steven Adams, had Clark coming off the bench. I can't remember who else was coming off the bench, man, but that squad was just a great young talent and up-and-coming team that was playing like good physical basketball, smart basketball. That was well coached, and they had a superstar, Ja Morant. They had a superstar in Ja Morant. They had a potential all-star in Jaren Jackson Jr., who was also a potential defensive player of the year. Like some of the same similar things that the Grizzlies had is now what OKC has. And OKC has the superstar. It's not Ja Morant, it's SGA. They got the potential defensive player of the year. It's not Jaren Jackson Jr., it's Chet Holmgren. Chet Holmgren was also a potential all-star. They got some of the same makeup. Instead of Desmond Bane or Dylan Brooks, they got Jalen Williams, right? So, and they're up and coming, and they're young, and they're together, and they're playing physical defense, and they're playing smart basketball and well coached. What Draymond Green did when the Grizzlies was up and coming is played mind games with them, and Dylan Brooks was not interrogating, but he was antagonizing Draymond Green, and two things probably triggered Draymond Green. One, I don't like for another antagonizer or another antagonist or another villain to arise in the league that's getting attention, because that's my job. I'm supposed to be the number one villain in the NBA. So I didn't like Dylan the villain and his whole brand. So I'm a little bit jealous of Dylan Brooks just for even doing it. Then on top of that, they beat us. and he outplayed me. So I'm really pissed off about that. Then this is a team that's in the West that if they actually get to their prime and their power, we ain't gonna stand a chance against them. So he took the opportunity at that time to come at Dylan Brooks on his podcast. And I remember he said something like, he pretty much was like, you're a clown, you're insignificant, and you're holding the Grizzlies back. And the dynasty doesn't start with Dylan Brooks. It starts after Dylan Brooks. So he threw that out in the atmosphere. And then Dylan Brooks, they go into the playoffs. And I want to say he made a comment about LeBron James in a press conference. And then LeBron James and the Lakers come out to blow them out. And everybody was like, man, if you don't poke the bear, LeBron probably don't come out motivated like that. And they kind of blamed Dylan Brooks for the loss. And then they didn't re-sign him. It was almost like what happened with the Lakers in the playoffs, plus what Draymond Green said. Like, man, maybe Draymond's right about this. Maybe Draymond, maybe Dylan Brooks is holding us back. So I think that probably went into a decision on whether we go keep Dylan Brooks or not. Well, he's trying to do it again, right? He tried to do it with OKC, and I did a video on that. But that's not the only thing he uses his podcast for. So now he's using his podcast to throw things out in the atmosphere to see if it grows legs. But this time he's doing it for Clutch Sports and Bronny James. Listen to how listen to this.
We must have a conversation about the number one pick in the 2024 draft. Zach Rischer talks about his situation during training camp. And he says, I quote, back in France, I was super athletic. And now I'm just a regular dude.
Uh-oh.
If you are to let off, how alarming is that statement? This man already think he's regular. He's the number one pick. 5 games in, he said, I'm just a regular dude. How alarming is that?
That is ring the alarm, bro. Sound the sirens. That's a major alarm.
Red alert. Red flag. What?
Right? Are you kidding me, bro?
Even if you believe that, brother, lie.
You cannot say that, bro.
Anthony Richardson, if you are tired and you took yourself out because you're tired, say, I felt tighter right here.
Yeah, like I felt a little knick-knack or something. What are you doing?
If you believe that, lie. Because that to me just shows a level of confidence that you don't have. A level of dog that you don't have.
You ain't gonna persevere out of it.
Exactly. So you're gonna be a regular dude. And quite frankly, if I'm being honest with you, being a regular dude as the number one pick in the NBA ain't okay. You can't be regular. Nobody gonna let you be regular. So my man, you better figure out how to stand out, and you better do it fast.
Yeah, it's just.
So look, I can see through that. Because first of all, it don't even make sense what he's talking about. Because what the kid said is that basically what he said is the athleticism in the NBA is at an elite level, and there's a lot of athletes that's uber athletes. And when I was in France, I was probably the only super athlete in France. Like, I was playing against people who weren't super athletes. I was a super athlete, but now I'm in the NBA with more super athletes. So I'm just I'm regular because everyone has my level of athleticism. Like 9 times out of 10, you got it. He didn't say that he was regular in terms of basketball play. He didn't say that he didn't have confidence in himself, and because there's so many people. Like, Draymond's not that dumb, or maybe he is. But for you to say, yeah, when I was in France, I was the most athletic guy, but over here in the NBA, I'm regular because there's more athletic guys like myself. That has nothing to do with your play on the court. So for him to take that all the way there lets me know that he's trying to cause a diversion, which is the same diversion Gil's Arena and Gilbert Arenas has been trying to do. Bronny James is a 55th pick. Why ain't nobody talking about the number 1 pick? Why ain't nobody talking about the number 2 pick? Alex Sarr. Why? No, they're not playing good either, which they are playing good because I think Alex Sarr starting and the kid with the Hawks is getting significant minutes and they're playing rather well, right? But Draymond is trying to start the conversation so it can the snowball can roll downhill and more people can start talking about this kid. And this was the best thing that he could talk about. He couldn't talk about how bad he was playing because he's not playing horrible. He couldn't talk about him not being good enough to get on the floor because he's on the floor. So he go talk about this quote of him saying, "Oh man, I'm not the only uber athlete. It's more athletes like me. I'm regular." Which Draymond is regular as far as an athlete. So he's not. So if Draymond admit that he's regular as an athlete, that doesn't mean I'm admitting that I'm regular as a player. I'm just admitting that it's more people like me in the NBA where I was one of a kind in France in terms of athleticism. Like, don't let that go over your head. In terms of athleticism, I'll play it again.
We must have a conversation about the number 1 pick in the 2024 draft. Zach Risser talks about his situation during training camp. And he says, I quote, back in France, I was super athletic.
Super athletic.
And now I'm just a regular dude.
Right. Super athletic as it is relevant to everyone else. Like I can't be Superman can't be Superman if every human has the ability to do what Superman does. Then that makes him regular because everybody can do it. So for you to be super, because he said I was a super athlete in France, that means you're amongst people who can't do what you do athletically. If you're a Superman, like Superman from the planet that he came from, he wasn't Superman, he was just regular because everyone had the ability. But on Earth, he was Superman because the other men couldn't fly, didn't have X-ray vision, yada, yada, yada. Like people can't be that dumb. Like I just don't understand. He can't be that ignorant. I was super athletic in France, but now I'm regular because there's other super athletes here. So that makes it regular. I mean, I can't stress it. Like, I don't even know what to say. Like, I don't even know why he thought that was worthy to be on it. And then for Baron Davis to come back and piggyback on it, like, oh man, yeah, he's just doing, like, Draymond is doing what Shannon is doing with his nightcap with Ocho Cinco. Like, hey, look, man, like, look, I'm giving you a chance. My podcast is already doing what it's doing. And man, just come on here and you know, I'll break you off some bread. And he's just happy to be there. Ocho Cinco ain't never talked about basketball a day in his life. So he just blind leading the blind. Like Shannon Sharpe is a football player, just like Ocho Cinco. Don't know nothing about basketball. The stuff he be talking about, oh my God, it's hard to listen to. And Shannon is very vocal. So it's very hard to listen to someone very vocal, not know what they're talking about, and just use talking points that somebody printed up for them. But it's even more hard to listen to when you got the guy, tell him about the gun line, boss. Tell him about the gun line. Like he's doing that from life. Tell him about the gun line, boss. That's all he doing. Just sitting back. Ah, yeah, Shannon. Ah, yeah. Okay, yeah, yeah. That's all he doing. Now Baron Davis is doing it for Draymond Green. You got blind leading the blind. And it's unfortunate, man, because, I mean, come on, man. Baron Davis is the homie, and I don't want to see him go out like that where he just, yeah, man, tell him about the gun line, boss. Like, that is horrible, man. Like, man, I hope more players don't start copying Shannon Sharpe and we just see more podcasts I mean, at least give the odd couple credit where they disagree sometime. Where, you know, I mean, I don't got a lot of respect for them either, but I got more respect for them than what Shannon and what Draymond is attempting to do. Yeah, I'm gonna say I'm your boss. Don't disagree with me. Like Shannon Sharp tried to embarrass Ocho Cinco several times on camera, talking about him being late and scolding him and all this crazy stuff. Man, it's just unreal. And Ocho just can't say a lot. All right, boss. Yeah. All right. I'm just happy to be here. Tell him about the gun line, boss. That's it. Right. So I hope I don't start seeing more podcasts like this where some guy jump on a podcast and because his name is popping right now, he can get clicks, and then he just gets some lackey that's a former athlete to just hop on, and we don't get to hear what he really thinks. We just get to hear them both just piggyback off each other and agree with each other and give each other reach arounds and all that stuff. I don't want to see those type of podcasts. Right. I don't. Yeah, Tyson, he's playing well. You gotta watch the games. Is he shooting it at a high clip? No. So there's your answer. Is he shooting it at a high clip? No. Is he playing well? Yeah. I like what I see. I like what I see. He's playing good ball. But yeah, 32% is it's not a good percentage you want to be at. But interesting enough, that's what Luka is right now. So go figure. Good luck with that. Casual urban anxiety. Thanks, man. I will. But yeah, I'm gonna get to this Joel situation, and I'm gonna open the phone lines up for this Joel Embiid situation because it's I got a different opinion about it than a lot of people. And I got friends and other podcast colleagues who spoke on this, and their opinion is, I would say, different from mine. You know, and when it comes to these players, I like to hold them accountable for certain things, right? And I do have a tendency to hold players accountable more if the mainstream media is dropping the ball on being honest and reporting things in an honest way, in a way where it's not obvious that you are probably on somebody's payroll, right? So, when I hear the lies about, other players and man, that's not true. I report the truth on my podcast, right? I say it the way it needs to be said. But what I don't really like doing is seeing the media dump on one guy. And then I go and say, well, hey, look, I'm going to join in, and I go on my podcast and dump on him, especially when they're dumping on him unjustly. Right. And the way people treat players that are injured is usually when I kind of separate myself. Like, it's just weird how people do that. Like, hey, I'm gonna say all this inflammatory things about this guy because he's hurt and he's not playing. Like that happens in sports. Some people are injury prone, right? And when it's an injury where your knees go out, what am I supposed to do with that? I can't run or jump without that. I can get out here and try, but I'm just gonna make it worse. Right. So when people take time off after surgery, I had surgery, like it's a real surgery I had, or like Ben Simmons with his back, like that's a real issue. Like we've seen Dwight Howard have to go back under the knife 2 or 3 times for his back. Like it don't get no better. When they do the surgery, they removing things. Okay, well, I just take this out. So you back up, man, rehab you. You know what I mean? They like people are taking, oh man, it's my L1 and my L4. Okay, we'll just take it out then. And you got to learn how to do what you do. You know what I'm saying? So people are having real surgeries on these backs, man. Michael Porter Jr., it took him 2 or 3 times to get his right. He sat out his college freshman year. got to the league, got drafted, sat out most of his rookie season after he had surgery. Then he finally got on the floor, and then he had to go back out, get back under the knife. Like when you see people with these backs, like it retired Larry Bird. Larry Bird went from one of the greatest players ever to a shell of himself. Like these backs ain't no joke. Larry Johnson, he wasn't the same after his back went out. So these backs ain't no joke. Right. So to see Dwight and Michael Porter Jr. actually had their medicine to their advantage where they can actually get back on the floor. If they have flare-ups, I'm not about to be the person that's gonna come out here and try to dog them for something like that, right? So Dwight Howard, Michael Porter Jr., Ben Simmons, more power to you for dealing with a back and having multiple surgeries to try to fix things and still trying to get back on the court, right? I'm not gonna be the one that's gonna try to dog you because your back is jacked up, but you still want to play and you still want to help your team, right? That's number one. So to Joel Embiid, his injuries, we know he's played through most of them. He come out of college. He had the foot, broke his foot, missed his first season. Then he played phenomenally, right? Then he had some knee injuries. So he's had MCLs, ACLs, like he's had all that. He's played with a brace. I mean, we seen him last year. I don't want to miss no games. I'm playing with a sprained MCL with a brace on. I can barely move, barely run. And in a game that I probably should have sat out, I actually injured it worse because I dove for a ball and somebody jumped on my knee, messed my knee up even worse. Then I got surgery. Didn't miss the whole season. I came back for the playoffs, still limping. And you can't be 7 foot and over 300 pounds or 280, 290, whatever Joel Embiid is, and have a knee surgery where you can't do no cardio and come back at 7 foot and 290 pounds and be conditioned for the playoffs in shape without gaining a little bit of weight. So he comes back to play for this team, and people are complaining about him being a little out of shape and dragging the knee around in the knee brace, on top of having cerebral palsy where he couldn't even move half of his face. And they said that you at risk of losing your eyesight in that eye if you come out here and play like that. I've seen him with a whole mask on his face with a broken nose playing. So if you're going to criticize Joel Embiid, you can criticize him for being injury prone, but I'm not going to criticize him for actually missing the beginning of this season because he's trying to get his knee right. That's not what I'm not going to do, right? So let's get into this situation. A reporter decided it was a good idea to say something about Joel Embiid's family, a dead brother and his son who he named after his dead brother. So this article comes out because he's fired up that Joel Embiid is missing the beginning of the season. Not the whole season, just the beginning of it. And he's getting himself right so he can come back ready. And the team wants to monitor him to make sure he's ready for the playoffs, because even when the Sixers had a good chance of making it to the finals, every year Joel Embiid in the playoffs has been playing unhealthy. They want to see what Joel Embiid could do in the playoffs 100% healthy for once, right? So Joel Embiid made it known. He said, I probably, with my injuries, I probably won't play a back-to-back again in my career. And he said probably. The reason why he said probably because it's not his decision. This is something the 76ers want to try to help him stay healthy. Maybe we can keep you out of back-to-backs. You know, that might help you, especially after a surgically repaired knee. You know, what most doctors tell players after ACL surgery or major knee surgery is, we want you to lose about 10 to 15 pounds because we want the least amount of weight on that knee while it's still getting stronger as possible. So they want you to lose a little weight, and they're not going to want you to put a lot of wear and tear on it. So back-to-backs might be the best way to help preserve the knee while it's still healing and getting stronger. It's not a bad idea the year after you had surgery. It's not a bad idea, right? reports have already been said that Joel Embiid is a little lighter right now. He's lost some weight, 10 to 15 pounds. So he's already got that step. Not playing back-to-backs, okay, whatever. He probably shouldn't have told the media that, knowing that the media is going to run with it. But he did, right? And so this, reporter comes and says, Joel Embiid consistently points to the birth of his son, Arthur. You already made a mistake by saying that. As the major inflection point in his basketball career. He often says that he wants to be great, to leave a legacy for the boy named after his brother, who tragically died in an automobile accident when Embiid was in his first year as a 76er. Well, in order to be great at your job, you first have to show up for work. Embiid has been great at just the opposite. He's been great at not showing up for work. That's what he said. Now, in his 11th season, he consistently has been in poor condition. This poor condition apparently seems to have delayed his debut this season. Embiid won't play in Wednesday's opener or the next 2 games. So he's going at him. He could have wrote this whole article without mentioning his brother or his son and been fine. Nobody's trying to say that you don't criticize Joel Embiid, but you ain't got to bring nobody's family into it, bro. Especially not nobody that died. Especially not nobody's son. Those are fighting words, right? And he got what he asked for. So Joel Embiid approached him and he shoved him. He didn't punch him. He shoved him, right? Very poor taste for the article, but a bad move by Joel Embiid to shove him. But I understand. 100% I understand. Referencing the man, dead brother and son's name to say something bad about a player's basketball game is never a good idea. Lucky he ain't get punched. 100%. 100%. So what did Gil's Arena say about it? They exploded because Gil understood it. I think Lacey Brown understood it. I think Kenyon Martin understood it. I think Nick Young understood it. But Brandon Jennings had to play his role and say what he had to say. And it turned into an interesting conversation. Take a listen.
Like, I'm not going to take accountability for this bottom part. God damn it, you said this.
Yeah.
And this is what we're going to address, right? And that's where that's from.
Yeah.
But if you're lying?
Do you take issue? But do you take issue with him bringing up his deceased brother, his son?
Just leave it alone.
Yeah.
It's too much.
You can write your story without mentioning his son or his brother.
Yeah, the article had legitimate gripes in it, but I think that part
you can leave it out.
And like Nick, you mentioned, you lost a brother. I've lost a brother before. Like
he wanted to.
You can say, there was a way.
He wanted to.
Trying to sound cute, trying to get a little too cute with the words.
As I said, it's the end part. Like if you said in a way where you made statements about family members and you want to leave a great legacy for them. Are you doing that? Have you been putting yourself in a position where you are leaving a great legacy for them?
But I think even that though.
So I can look at that and be like, but that right there is a real attack on it for him not to even pay attention to what you're saying, and he just gets to play defense now.
But even if he already left a legacy for his kid.
Yeah.
But did he say? But did he say for everything I've done for the city?
Yeah.
What has he done for the city?
He named it,
bro. Huh?
He named it.
What?
The process.
He named it.
What?
Who all I mean, but
what has he done for the city that AI hasn't done?
We don't know.
But what I'm saying, AI used to play through everything.
No, what I'm saying is we
Same
don't.
way they kicked AI out. AI get to the finals and they kicked them out. Same thing they're gonna do with him. No. But my thing is, what have you done? You ain't done nothing for Philly like AI.
don't know.
Like AI played through everything.
He did too.
Huh? He do too.
We don't know.
Have AI ever played with half face?
What I'm saying is,
his face. Come on, man. He talking about what he's done. He act like he's doing more than AI's done. You're not going in front of the media.
Why is AI in the question? What are they?
But why does it have to be a comparison, bro?
Because that's how I feel.
But why does it have to be a comparison? Because they don't make it right because you fucking feel that way.
I don't care if it is. I don't care if it's right.
So why mention it then? So why bring it up? Yes. So your opinion is fucking don't compare.
Well, I don't care. That's my opinion.
AI did what he did. He doing what he doing.
Go play. Suck it up and go play.
has.
AI sucked it up and
He-
went to
okay.
in the finals 4-1, but I still fucking did it.
But
Go
nobody
fucking do it.
but
Stop
nobody-
being a big bitch.
So he didn't ask you in the
Go do
playoffs?
it. Go do it.
He didn't.
We are crashing y'all early.
He didn't play on one leg.
He's the one talking about.
He didn't play on
what
one
do you
leg
do for the
last year?
city? What do you do for the city?
He
Nothing.
didn't play on one leg last playoffs.
What do you do for the city? Nothing. Sit your ass down.
He
Sit
didn't-
your ass down.
But he didn't.
Sit your ass. Well,
But he
stop
didn't.
complaining then. Stop complaining.
But he didn't.
Stop complaining. We don't care.
But he did.
Should have said that.
So was you bitches so motherfucker complain about when you got hurt to a mother that you couldn't perform the way you could? Was that bad? Was motherfuckers on your ass for no reason?
No, they wasn't.
Exactly.
I'm not.
Well, sit your ass down then.
I wasn't though.
Well, exactly.
Okay.
I don't care.
Exactly. Don't put him in that category.
I did
then.
though, but I did.
Well, you in the same fucking category. then.
I did sit my ass down.
You in the same
I did sit
category.
my ass down.
You know you
I
did.
did
You
sit my
kept
ass
trying to
down.
play.
Okay, Philly's
You
done.
kept
It
trying
doesn't
to
matter.
play.
He can go. Philly's
You kept
done.
trying to
Doesn't
play.
Don't matter.
Don't throw stones in no fucking glass house, dude.
So I can do whatever the fuck I want, bro. He ain't AI, so don't talk about all that. What you done? Don't. I am. And I am. And I'm standing on it. And I'm standing on it.
Standing on it. There's nothing to fucking stand on.
Standing on it. You ain't AI.
There's nothing to fucking stand on.
You ain't do shit for Philly.
There's nothing to stand
You
on.
ain't do shit for Philly.
There's nothing to fucking, I don't give a fuck what you say, there's nothing to stand on.
Ain't AI.
There's nothing to fucking stand on.
So yeah, you heard it got heated. That was Kenya Martin. That was Brandon Jennings. And Brandon Jennings' argument is that, first of all, the reporter didn't lie. And second of all, when Embiid said that everything he's done for the city, he don't deserve this, Brandon Jennings is saying, what did you do for the city? And Gilbert Arenas said he listed what he did. And this is another case of someone not understanding what the main topic is when someone is speaking. And when Joel was speaking about this in the reporter, he said for him to write that and put my son's name in it and my dead brother's name in it after and then say and try to make it seem like I don't want to play for my team after all I've done for this city, and he listed the times he's played through certain injuries. So basically what he's saying is, I don't deserve to be labeled as someone who sits out games when I can play and I don't play through injury. Like, it's almost like they're saying that every time Embiid gets hurt, he's just like, oh, I'm out, I'm not playing. When we've seen this dude on the court with knee braces on, dragging his leg, jumping off one leg. He can't even jump off two because the leg is not strong enough yet. He jumping off one leg, still contesting shots at the rim, blocking shots, and still leading the team in scoring and being the go-to guy down low, running up and down. I mean, it's unreal to see. Like, it was painful to watch him play with that knee brace on when his knee was weak like that. And during the season when he was doing it, which ultimately got him having to get surgery again when he got hurt against Golden State. And like I said, can't move the right side of your face, still playing. Who would play like that? Face mask on, broken nose. Like, he's played through a lot of injuries. So to label him as someone who just misses games, I can't help if my ACL tears. I can't help that. And if your ACL tears, you're not going to play. You can't play. You're supposed to sit that out. But he's not sitting out the stuff he can play through. Even some things he shouldn't play through, he's still playing through it. So label him as the guy who plays through injury and label him as a guy who gets injured often. That's great. If he's injury prone, label him as that. But don't label him as a guy who don't play through injuries or who sits out games. That's not him. That's what he's taking offense to. So what Brandon Jennings is saying is, you didn't do nothing for Philly. Yes, he did. And then he's trying to say, well, you didn't do what Iverson did, so you didn't do nothing for Philly. What the heck kind of comparison is that? He's saying Iverson played through everything. That's not true. You can pull up Iverson's stats. 76 games, 80 games, 48 games, 70, 71, 60, 82 one time, 48 games, 75, 72 games, 65 games, 65 games, another 82, 57 games, 3 games, 54 games, 28 games, 3 games, 25 games. He didn't play through everything. How can you play through everything and miss games? So there's some injuries that even Iverson sat down for. So that's a horrible comparison to try to make and say you didn't do nothing for the city because Iverson played through everything. No, he didn't. Iverson sat his butt down too when the injury was too bad. When did you ever see Iverson play through an ACL? He might have played through some like broken fingers or like some sore shoulders or some fatigueness, some bruises, some lumps here and there. But I don't remember Iverson tearing no ACL not one time. I don't remember him tearing no ACL. I don't remember him having cerebral palsy. Joel Embiid is also playing through a lot of things. So yes, he's done enough for the city. He's shown the city enough for them not to come out and call him some player that don't want to play. How you gonna label him like that? It's a bad deal. And it was right for Kenya Martin to get on the way he did. Shout out to Pena Jr. for the $20 super chat. Keep up the great work, Mel. I enjoy your podcast. I appreciate it, bro. Appreciate it. But yeah. I get to some comments as right before I put the phone number up. Let me see what y'all talking about in there. Problem is with the explosion of Twitter and YouTube, writers need to be more outlandish to the game. That is 100% fact, and that's all this dude was doing. You could see the artwork and how he was writing, where he was strategically saying what he was saying to get a rise. Like like these dudes are. They're trained as writers. Even when they talk, if you ever hear a writer go on a podcast and they really want to sell something. I heard Dan Le Batard do it last night talking about this very issue with Jamil Hill as a guest. And the way Dan Le Batard introduced it, I could hear his tone as if he was writing the article to get attention. Like when you're writing an article, it's not the same as listening to someone speak and talk, right? You're reading it and you have to write it a certain way to like pop. But he was talking in the way he would have wrote it. And I was like, oh, I can hear the journalist in him. Like, he's selling this as he introducing it as a topic. I was like, wow. He's like, he just locked in like that. Oh man. Let me see. Bird's Eye View. Man Down Zone in the house, man. What's up, bro? Yeah, hit that like button, y'all. Make sure y'all hit the like button right now and subscribe. And also go subscribe to Man Down Zone's Falcons and Atlanta Hawks podcast, Bird's Eye View. Y'all go check that out. Make sure y'all go get him a sub. Do that now. Embiid couldn't even out rebound last year. Lord have mercy. Caller from Louisiana, what's up?
Yeah, hi, Melvin.
Yes.
Hey, this is Steve Swinsky, MP Hour. Hired by our National Association, Chiefs of Police. How you doing today?
Oh man, you called me at a bad time, man. I'm gonna have to hang up. Thank you for the call.
Oh, we're calling the businesses.
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen. He was trying to trick bro out of the bag. Yeah, he wanted to get punched. But I can guarantee you he didn't want them 7-foot African hands swinging on him for full speed. He probably would have been his eye would have been knocked out of the socket. I'm not the biggest Embiid fan, but saying he just sitting out just because it's disrespectful to a competitor, not to mention you're mentioning personal people close to me. That's a big fact. That's a big fact, man. Mel finally defending a current player too long. What? Defending? I don't know if I'm defending them. I'm just calling it like it is, man. I'm just calling it like it is. That's all, man. I'm calling it like it is. All right, phone lines are open. Let's hear y'all thoughts, man. Don't let it be that police dude. That's crazy, man. He done called me a couple of times over the last 2-3 years, and it's been the same dude. Like, I need to block that number. Because as soon as he started talking, I was like, I recognize his voice, man. You done called me several times. Yeah, I hate those calls too. Policeman. Man, the article was terrible. There was no need to bring up dudes' dead relatives. Facts, man. Facts. Why not StreamYard, bro? Yeah. Tell them. What you talking about, Tyson? Take me off the list. Man, they don't, hey, man, they don't care about that. I don't never stay on the phone long enough to tell them to take me off the list. They don't even never cross my mind. I just be like, oh man, no, I'm good. I'm good, man. Whatever you selling, I'm not buying. I don't know what that was. But yeah, phone lines is open, man. I can take 1 or 2 calls on this topic. If not, I can get to my final topic, which is Nikola Jokic, which is going to be the end. And then I'll catch y'all on Full Panel Friday. Make sure y'all subscribing to all of us as well, man. And if you go to the description, for most of the times I remember to put everybody's stuff on the description box. Sometimes I forget. But if you're having trouble finding someone's podcast, it should be in the description box. All of them are not on this one, but the last episode I did, all of them are on that description. I'll make sure I add it to this one. But Sports T, Bird's Eye View, Motor City Royal, Kingdom Come, which is the Chiefs podcast, Cowboy Spit. It's a lot of football podcasts, and then Sideline Speaks for Britne. So Britne, Sideline Speaks, Dominque, Sports T, Zoe, Bird's Eye View, Chris, Motor City Royal, Jay and Eric, Kingdom Come. And I think that's it. And I always shout out the Format Podcast. Y'all can go check Bruce out over there. Caller from Michigan, what's up?
Man, what's up, man? You already know who it is. It's your favorite caller, man, the World Breaker. What's up, man?
What's up, man? What's up? Talk to me, man. What you thinking?
You know what, Mel? I got to give you the pat on the back. Man, it's about time you defended a current player. God, leave. Hey, man, don't never say nothing positive. But no, I 1,000% agree with you, man. And at this point, if you're not a doctor, I don't want to hear no more complain about people not playing through injuries. Like, it's just getting ridiculous at this point.
We feel entitled to as well, and like we got to take a step back and catch ourselves because
right,
we join the crowd of, oh man, you getting paid $50 million, you need to be on the floor, dude. I can't play on a torn ACL. What the hell are you talking about? What do you mean I need to be on the floor? I'm getting paid $60 million. I can't play on a torn ACL. I can't play if my back is so jacked up that I can't even jump. Like, what are you talking about? I need back surgery. I need knee surgery. I physically cannot play. What the hell are you talking about as a fan? You get paid $50 million. You need to be on the floor. Now, shut the hell up. And after the surgery, I'm going to take my sweet ass time getting back on the court because I want to make sure when I get on the court, I stay on the court. Joel Embiid has rushed himself back several times because of the pressure from fans and Philly and media. Joel Embiid is always hurt, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I'm rushing back. Last year, he was hurt. He should have sat those games out. He played because he didn't want to hear people's mouth. And then what they
down there play with one eyeball.
Exactly. Like, what do these people be thinking, man? You make $50 million. You need to be on the floor. And then they be saying irrelevant stuff like Brandon Jennings, where Iverson did as well. Man, Iverson used to sit out games too.
Oh man, yeah, that was a bad take. I hope he was just doing that just to, help help the content or whatever. I hope he don't believe that because that was a terrible take.
Yeah, it was bad. Ben Simmons didn't make up no injury, man. That dude got back surgery.
Right. And I'm glad that you brought up the point of the players back in the day too. Like they didn't some of these guys, their career ended off these injuries, these back injuries and these knee problems. And these guys really trying to act like they were just so tough back in the day. Like y'all didn't even last as long as some of these guys did.
Yeah. I mean, Larry Johnson used to dunk on everybody. He had that back injury and couldn't even dunk no more.
And they said dudes to play. And they say dudes to play a broken back. It's ridiculous, man. But yeah, I ain't gonna keep you long. I just want to appreciate you for finally having something positive.
Man, I'm always positive. I'll
just play with you. All right, you have a good show, man.
All right, bro.
No.
Hey, look, I'm sorry, man. I know y'all want to come down on Ben Simmons really hard, but the man had back surgery. I don't know nobody who go in there and say, "Hey, man, cut in my back and play with my spine." But I ain't got no injuries. I've never seen it's such a risky surgery to do anything anywhere near your spine. It's a risky surgery. People don't want to do it. You mean to tell me this dude faking a back injury and went and got surgery for it twice? It didn't work the first time. He had to get it done again this summer. 2 years in a row he had back surgery, and you telling me he faking it? What is wrong with y'all? This dude had 2 back surgeries and he's faking it? Yeah, you can't. Come on, see this, and this is the issue right here. We be listening to so many people try to down these players. Future time traveler didn't even know Ben Simmons was out with a back injury all that time. Yes, he was out with a back injury. It started with Philly. He made a play in the playoffs against the Hawks. He had a wide open layup or a dunk if he really wanted it, and he passed it. And that point would probably have put them in position to win that game. They needed that game. So people really got on him really bad about it, and then they end up losing the series, and they asked Doc Rivers, can Ben Simmons be your point guard on the championship team? And he had no confidence in him publicly and said, I don't know. And then Embiid came out and blamed him for the loss. So at that time, Ben Simmons was like, look, I'm not the type of dude that my coach can come out and say I ain't got no confidence in him, and then the best player also blame me for the loss, and then I come back and smile in your face and be like, yeah, we're teammates. Let's get this. Hell nah, trade me ASAP. So he had a trade request. And it was like, we're not going to trade you. Well, he was like, well, I'm not coming to training camp. And then they was like, well, if you don't come to training camp, you're not getting paid. So he showed up to training camp and he hurt his back. When his back was jacked up, they finally traded him. I don't know how he passed the physical with Brooklyn, but he shows up at Brooklyn and the back flared up so bad he couldn't get out on the floor. And Brooklyn really needed him. Couldn't get on the floor, man. His back was jacked up. So he had surgery that summer after the Brooklyn Nets lost to Boston in the playoffs. He had surgery that summer. After that summer, KD was already gone. Oh, did he play that summer with KD? I think he tried. Yeah, he played with KD now as much as he could. He wasn't shooting the ball. Everybody was complaining about him not shooting threes. And then his back jacked up again that summer. He had another surgery. I think he's had 2 or 3 surgeries on his back since he left Philly. So, yeah, all the time he was missing was due to his back. The only thing I blame Ben Simmons for is not shooting the ball on the floor. Well, I don't know about him being a fake basketball player. My problem with Ben Simmons is he don't shoot the ball when he's open. He needs to get over that. Just shoot the ball. You got the ability, right? Just shoot the ball. But all of that, his missing games and stuff like that, you can't critique him. You can't criticize him for having a bad back. It's the same back MPJ and Dwight Howard had. Larry Bird, his back's jacked up. Larry Johnson as well. Yeah. So I'll take one more phone call before I move to the last topic. He said he shoots them so freely on the IG workouts. Yeah, but people just be quick to. I just can't wait, to dump on a player. It's a style to it. We've watched so much Stephen A. Smith and ESPN and those debate shows to where we feel like that's what we're supposed to do when we talk about basketball. And we just, we find a player that's an easy target and be like, oh, shoot, I got a hot take on Ben Simmons. Blah, 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 blah. And they just go off on Ben Simmons and it's all, baseless. Which is the same thing what Brandon Jennings just did. All right, caller from Pennsylvania. What's up?
Yo, it was good, man. This is Gmo from New York. It's just my phone number's from Pennsylvania because that's where I went to school, but I'm actually from Brooklyn, New York.
Oh, okay. What's up, bro?
It was good, bro. Yeah. So I had 2 points. Great show, by the way. But I had 2 points. One was on the injury thing with Joel Embiid. There was an interesting segment. I can't remember which show it was, but it was Dwight Howard. And it was one of these podcasts. And he talked about how these teams, they will lie about your recovery time. So they put pressure on you, right? So like you have whatever injury, then you may have rehab surgery, or they may have that plan. And then the real doctor will be like, yeah, you're supposed to be out for like 8 to 12 weeks, whatever. But then the team will put out something like, you're going to be only out for like 5 to 7 weeks. And you're like, wait, what? And so, I don't know. I see this starting to compound. It's probably going to compound a lot more in the future, especially with like the AAU culture. A lot of these players' legs are already done by the time they're 30, 31, 32, and they're playing in bodies that are a lot more older. But, something like Joel Embiid, being a Knicks fan, that guy, I don't know how he came back after game 2 or game 1, whichever one he got hurt in. But, the fact that he's going through all this now, he was never supposed to come back as early as he did with all these injuries.
Yeah.
And at some point, you got to look at the doctors, you got to look at the organization and say, all right, this has to be some type of malpractice somewhere because something's gonna come out, right?
Well, it's already come out. Ain't there ain't a lawsuit going on with the Clippers dealing with Kawhi and his trainer?
Oh yeah. I didn't know there was a lawsuit. I know the trainer came out and said something. Was it like last week or 2 weeks ago? But see, the thing about it is that they might try to make the NBA might try to make it so it's isolated, right? Like unless you have some weird class action lawsuit, including all the NBA. They'll try to say, okay, that was just the Clippers. But you see it with all these other teams. And unfortunately, only people speaking out right now are the retired players like Dwight, right? So, but, just looking at Joel Embiid, man, and I'm a Knicks fan. I don't like the Sixers, but, what he's going through, I don't know, maybe what type of drugs or whatever they put him on, whatever they hopped him up on last season in the playoffs, but that dude was not healthy whatsoever.
Not at all. Not at all, man.
And then
he gave it a good go. He tried, bro.
He played out of his mind. I hate he's a talented player. I hate playing against him, but again, he played on a quasi MVP level, as much as he could last year. With Maxey, he's really his only viable number 2 guy. Oubre had some decent games, but he was a man amongst boys out there. And honestly, it took a Herculean effort to kind of bring him down because at one point, it's just like, bro, how do you stop Embiid? He was unstoppable against us. But yeah, I kind of feel for him. And then my second point was on the Ben Simmons thing. So I agree.
You from Brooklyn? I'm interested to hear this one.
So first of all, I hate the Brooklyn Nets. By the way, I used to live right near to where they are now. That place is all gentrified. No one. Let me tell you something, man. We don't mess with no damn Brooklyn Nets, man. They always be New Jersey Nets to us, man. Screw all that Brooklyn Nets crap. But the thing about it with Ben Simmons, right? So I have a herniated disc, right? I got herniated in my L4 nerve damage in my L5. So I know how hard. And I used to do a lot of heavy lifting, Olympic lifting, all that stuff, right? Unfortunately, I'm tall, so it wasn't smart for me to be doing like crazy deadlifts and stuff, and that's how I got hurt. So I know how it feels to play with a herniated disc. You're just not the same anymore. Like unless you get a lot of PT and stuff like that, but you're just not the same. So I understand like back injuries, and I get that on his side, but there's a difference between him and the players of yesteryear, right? I'm talking about the Larry Johnsons. I'm talking about Jamal Mashburn, who every other season he's always hurt, but he's always able to give you 12, 15 off the back, like even on his bad days, right?
Correct.
Ben Simmons has not really elevated his game, right? A lot of things you read about him pre-draft, right? I know people wanted to kill the guy who I think it was the draft DX guy. I'm forgetting who it was. But a lot of the scouting that you saw with Ben Simmons back then, it really hasn't elevated. What I mean by that is that, okay, your back is hurt, right? What they tell you to do back in the day, get your butt in the post so you don't have to use your speed and acceleration, play a little bit more under rim. Get your butt in the low post, learn how to shoot, right? And these are all the things that people have been asking Ben Simmons to do for years. And that doesn't take a lot of explosiveness or whatnot. Larry Johnson, like you said, grandmama, UNLV, running Rebels, all that. Coach T, Tarkan, rest in peace. We remember all that, bro. He was supposed to be the next guy up. Hurt his back, and what did he do? He changed his game to be more of a catch and shoot guy, the guy who kind of move off the screens, could shoot from the outside. And that's what I think that people are waiting for Ben Simmons to get into. That same thing in Philly. You probably heard all the Philly fans. It's not that they were mad that, he wasn't a super duper. It was like, yo, bro, take your shots. We don't care if you miss. Take a jumper. Elevate your game past you just being this, 6'8" type of point forward who could, run the floor and operate on a break. Take the shot. We don't care if you go 0 for 10. I've seen Reddit posts. I've seen SB Nation posts. They're like, dogs, we didn't hate Ben Simmons. We wanted him to take these chances, but he never did. And so that's I feel for him. I don't think he didn't fake any of it. He went through surgery. He's been in pain. But as long as you're able to get on the court, bro, like, you got to find another way, right?
Yeah,
God forbid guys like John Moran get hurt, but,
I agree 100%. Yeah, but that's you saying the same thing I was saying. My only issue with Ben Simmons is that he won't shoot the ball from the perimeter, and especially even when his team actually needs him to do that. Like, he needs to shoot it. So that's my issue with Ben Simmons. But as far as how he's dealing with his back and, how many surgeries he's had and how, the time he takes off, I don't have an issue with that, you know what I mean? But when he do get on the court, he's not making any excuses for him on the defensive end. He puts in 100% effort, and that's harder than just shooting an open jump shot. So he's actually putting in more work and more effort at being a defender. And most of the times he's on the floor, he's the best defender on his team, probably the best defender on the floor at times, and we can't say that for anybody else other than Dwight Howard, who's had these back issues. Like Larry Bird, after he had them back issues, that defense was a done deal. Larry Johnson, done deal. Michael Porter Jr. ain't never been no defender. But Ben Simmons and Dwight Howard are still giving you rebounds and defense at a high level. And they're going to continue. Like, if Ben Simmons can figure out a way to stay on the floor, he's going to continue to get contracts. They won't be max contracts, but some team is going to continue to use him because you're a great defender and a great rebounder, and you can run the floor. Like, why wouldn't I want that?
I ask you this though, because I think I want to say he's expiring, right? This year, next year?
Probably next year.
It might be next year, right? So when you look at him, right, how many guys out there? I guess Josh Giddey's going to get a contract next, right? Because I'm trying to think of guards out there who they can't shoot, but they have a high usage. They're running your offense, but they can't shoot, but they could defend, right, run the floor. They can do everything else, but they can't shoot. And unfortunately, that's the paradigm currently in the NBA. So I'm just, my last question before I get on, I won't take up too much time. Maybe you could discuss some other time, but how many of the teams are going to give him that money?
It won't be max money, but let me ask you this. Would you give him Bronny James's contract on the Lakers?
Yo, you stupid, man. Yo, Bronny James is the second greatest player of all time, man. I gotta wait for this boy.
I know.
With his 36% from the field in college, his 24% from three, his little... Man, man. Look, y'all might kill me for this. I'm going to get over this before I already get killed, man. I had an argument about this, about the nepotism. I'm like, bro, you know how many players out there that they would just like to have the chance to sit on the bench? Because you look at a team like the Knicks. Cameron Payne got hurt. Shemet got hurt. Now we're looking at the bench for the 14th guy and saying, hey, who's out there who can contribute?
Correct.
All you need is one chance. And it may not be, okay, you may not be with the original team, but somebody else might be looking at you like, hey, yo, we can use that. So, look, man, Bronny James, God bless you, bro. You're already a millionaire, but, son, come on, dogs.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Come on. But, yo, thanks for taking my call, man. I appreciate you, man. I'll be in the chat, man.
All right, no doubt. Peace. Yeah, every pick matters, man. But, yeah, Ben Simmons, I'm pretty sure the Lakers could use him right now. If they could have signed Ben Simmons for the contract that Bronny James got, he'll be on the floor. Even with his non-shooting self, he'll be on the floor. But yeah, those are my thoughts on that. And I probably I'm already at 2 hours, so I won't get to my Nikola Jokic topics, but this is what I'm gonna do for y'all. I'm gonna come back either later today or tomorrow, and we go talk about this Nikola Jokic. We got to get into it, but yeah, no problem, Legend of Knicks podcast. But yeah, I catch y'all on that stream. So y'all see me again with a couple of more topics, starting with this Nikola Jokic one. Then you'll see me again on Friday with the full panel. Appreciate everybody for stopping by. Make sure you hit the like button ASAP. As a matter of fact, let me check. I want to get us to we should be at 250 likes right now. Let me check. Y'all don't want this channel to, y'all don't want this channel to be great, man. If y'all don't hit the like button, that's all y'all gotta do, hit the like button. That's it. Let me see how many likes we got. 306 watching, 200 likes. I tell you what, I do the Nikola Jokic topic if we can get to 250 likes in the next minute. We at 206 right now. If we can get to 250, I do the Nikola Jokic topic. 20 seconds. Oh, we're at 210. 10 seconds, 217. See, y'all don't love man down sports, man. All right, 30 seconds up, man. We stuck at 217. Let me hit refresh real quick. And we got the 220. Y'all tried, man. But 220, I mean, come on, it's 300 watching, man. I mean, it can't be that many haters. You know, some of y'all gotta like the show, so 250 should be easy when it's 300 watching. But you know, that's the goal, man. If y'all get the likes up, man, YouTube will push the video out, man. So if y'all don't hit that like button, man, we gonna stay the best kept secret, and the channel won't blow, man. Just think about, look, if the channel get really good, I could do a show every day. It's just I gotta work. But I appreciate it, man. Thank y'all. We'll get back in here later today or either tomorrow to talk about this Nikola Jokic, man, because he's got to be talked about, man. But I catch y'all then. Peace.